Welcome to the 2025 installment of the Subway Series between the Mets and the Yankees. From that first clip, you can see how tumultuous and intense this year's matchup is. A lot of that has to do with both teams' rather large expectations on this season and, of course, the off-season drama regarding right field superstar Juan Soto. Ironically, I arrived at the Subway Series by Metro North. Connecting at Harlem, I find it to be very convenient when thinking about traveling to Yankee Stadium. When I got to the stadium, I met up with WFUV Sports New York Met beat reporter Grace McCarron. She gave us the mentality coming off the loss Friday night for the New York Mets heading in to Saturday afternoon.
The Mets are in a little bit of a different vein than the Yankees today, looking for their first win of this series. After the 6-2 loss last night, Tyler McGill was the starter yesterday, struggling a little bit early on. We kind of see this pattern from him in recent years where he has been really strong the first 2 months of the season and then tapers off a little. Hopefully that can change coming up in the rest of the season. We'll see what their pitching looks like when Manaea and Montas come back as well. But for today, we've Griffin Canning on the mound and then Clark Schmidt for the Yankees. Griffin Canning has had a stellar start to the season. After the worst season of his career with the Los Angeles Angels last year, it's really great to see him improve, especially after the injuries that the Mets rotation experienced. He has filled in his role nicely, almost performing like an ace, and the Mets have a couple of those guys. Kodai Senga as well has been fantastic. Clark Schmidt struggling a little bit. He has an ERA over 4 at the moment. We'll have to see what's happening. As Chris said, Juan Soto does seem due for a big game either today or tomorrow. We think it's coming up in 3 walks last night, which is not bad, but we're looking for a big home run. I can feel it in the air personally. I feel like it has to happen at some point, just narrative-wise, but he definitely got a lot of boos last night. The bleacher creatures had their backs turned to him when he started in right field. We'll see what happens today, but for now, that'll be all from the Mets side for WFUV Sports.
And then I, Chris Carrino, on the other side, figuratively and literally for the Yankees, talking about coming off a win Friday night, trying to compound that success into Saturday afternoon over the crosstown rival.
Back here at the stadium, Game 2 of the Subway Series here in the 2025 installation. Maybe one of the most pivotal installations of all time. Yankees getting the victory 6-2 last night. Paul Goldschmidt, multiple RBIs. Carlos Rodon, 5 innings of really good work on the mound. And the Yankees just kind of consistently did it all the way down the stretch, especially offensively. When this Yankee team can produce offensively consistently down the stretch of games, that's when they tend to be successful. The Mets on the other side, they were not consistently successful offensively down the stretch. They really made it close toward the end, especially in the 9th inning. That's a running theme for this Yankee team, kind of having control for around 7 to 8 innings, and then it kind of going away toward the end. Yankees need to get better at capitalizing and closing in on games. The Mets almost took advantage of that last night. It's going to be a new day for the Mets, but they struggled last night. Not enough consistency outside of around the 4th inning. From the 4th inning to the 8th, a really dead offense. They're going to need to see a little more consistency in that offense. They're going to want to pick up a win today. Juan Soto didn't get his home run yesterday. Seems like his home run is inevitable here in the Bronx in this next 3 days. We'll see if it's today. For now, Yankees get the victory last night. They'll see, then get another one here today on this beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Griffin Canning and Clark Schmidt are getting the starts for their respective sides. Both pitchers played really well early in this game. No real sign of offense for the first 3 innings of this matchup. That was all until the bottom of the 3rd when DJ LeMahieu, freshly back in the Bronx and already making a splash.
Unfortunate injury to Oswaldo Cabrera. DJ LeMahieu, there's spots for him now to play. He's going to get time. Fly ball right field, going back Soto. Turning, looking, see ya! Into the short porch. 1-0 Yankees on the DJ home run.
The Mets came back to take the lead in the top of the 4th almost immediately with RBIs from Alonso and Vientos, and they would have that lead for a while. It would hold all the way to the bottom of the 6th, and the Mets, firmly in control. The Yankees tied the game up with a Bellinger home run. Bellinger leading off the bottom of the 6th and making a splash indeed, just like his teammate DJ LeMahieu. This one going way far to the back of the bullpen, hitting the back wall of the bullpen, his 12th game in a row with a hit, a 12-game hitting streak, and Cody Bellinger playing great baseball right now, and his Yankees needed it 2-2 going into the 7th inning. Another pivotal moment in the top of the 7th, this time for the Mets offense, but more specifically, the Yankee defense. Taylor hits one into the left center gap. Cody Bellinger takes it off of the wall, finds Anthony Volpe on the relay. Anthony Volpe finds J.C. Escara behind the plate for the Yankees. The Yankee catcher, he applies the tag to Beatty just in time, and the Yankees get the Mets out at the plate. The go-ahead run, a extremely pivotal play in the afternoon, maybe the loudest the stadium got all afternoon, and what a fantastic play by the Yankee defense, holding the Mets offense in check and holding the Mets to a tie game still, keeping this anyone's ball game. Both offenses stayed relatively stagnant until the top of the 9th inning. That was before the Mets saw their breakthrough in the top of the 9th, and of course, it was their shortstop, Francisco Lindor.
Swinging strike. So here is Lindor, just trying to at least get that go-ahead run home. Good speed all around. Swinging a high pop-up, shallow left field. Dominguez with Bellinger. Bellinger makes the catch. Acuna tags coming down the line. Bellinger's throw not in time. Head first slide. Acuna comes across the plate on a pretty shallow sacrifice fly.
Cody Bellinger got flat-footed. Dominguez not out of the way. Cody Bellinger.
In the bottom half of the inning, Diaz gets judged to strike out, and that's our ball game. The New York Mets revenge their loss.
Well, a nice win for the Mets today, coming off the loss last night to open the Subway Series. They evened this up 1-1. We'll have the final game of the first edition of the Subway Series here in the Bronx tomorrow night on Sunday Night Baseball. But for today, Griffin Canning for the Mets, he made the start. He was pretty good other than the 2 home runs he gave up to Cody Bellinger and DJ LeMahieu, but things got a little bit shaky. In the 6th inning, he was taken out, and then the Mets went to the bullpen, and then, as you said, Chris, Edwin Diaz got the last out of the game on Aaron Judge. That was a pretty big at-bat there. Just kind of puts New York baseball into a nutshell with Diaz and Judge at the end there. Judge ends up getting out there, and the Mets win the game, but it was a close one the entire way through. Mets, once again, kind of like last night, as I mentioned earlier, struggle with the runners in scoring position. They weren't driving these guys in. They had the bases loaded at one point. Nothing really happened. They scored off of there, but you're leaving a lot of guys on base there. Not really what you want to see, especially with a hugely offensive team like the Yankees, even though they didn't show as much as they usually do today. But overall, wondering if that's going to end up being a problem for the Mets. Going forward, we've seen it in a few games this season. Not really what you want to see when they have these powerhouse bats, including Alonso, Soto, Lindor in that lineup. But overall, a lot to be happy about for the Mets today. Sacrifice flies, as you mentioned, Chris, Mark Vientos, Lindor, etc. Can't really complain about getting a win off the Yankees, but tomorrow will be the last game in the Bronx between these two teams this season, at least in the regular season. But we'll have to see who takes the series tomorrow night. Tomorrow for the Mets, it will be David Peterson, and for the Yankees, it will be their ace, Max Fried, battle of the lefties. We will see you tomorrow night.
Yankees fall to their crosstown rivals, the New York Mets, 3-2, and it went all the way down to the wire. Truly was a thriller today in the Bronx. Aaron Judge, the final out of today's matchup, Edwin Diaz getting him the chase on a high fastball, and that was the end of the game. This Met team really rallied, especially in the last inning. Cody Bellinger hit a game-tying home run. It really felt that the Yankees had flipped the momentum, but the Mets stayed with what they've been good at all season long, and they were able to just string together walks, hits, sacrifice flyouts, eventually getting that run and getting the win. It wasn't all bad for the Yankees. DJ LeMahieu was in action today. He was doing it on both sides of the field, making great plays at second base and hitting a home run as well, along with a base hit. Juan Soto was good today as well. Really good at bats for him. He obviously received the fanfare here as expected. But overall, a great day for baseball here in New York. The energy was absolutely ridiculous, and just a fantastic baseball game today here in the Bronx.
That's it for me, Chris Carrino, and Mets beat reporter Grace McCarron. We would like to thank you for watching. This has been a production of WFUV Sports. Have a great day, guys.